Prime Suspect 1973, which was previously called Tennyson, is the prequel to Prime Suspect, oddly. Stars Stephanie Martini as...
I didn't see her shaken at any point, though.
Or stirred.
She was a little bit stirred at points. As the young Jane Tennyson, she's sort of thrust into this case that involves the murder of a young girl, a young prostitute, who was strangled with her own bra strap. Am I right so far? Because this is the 1970s, there's a lot of sexism where, you know, she's disrespected by a male boss, made to make tea and coffee for the officers, including Blake Harrison and his very supporting moustache.
That's the best acting by a moustache on an in-betweener I've ever seen.
Can I just say that during the first 10 minutes of this show, I had a real flashback to... Do you remember Inspector Monkfish from The Fast Show? Pull your knickers up and make me a cup of tea. It was very cliched in the first 10 minutes.
And then there's also another sort of story going on involving Alan Armstrong, who's in prison, and he's trying to organise a bank heist because his wife's played by Ruth Sheen, who at the beginning of the episode is sort of mugged and saved by Tennyson, and then later on we find there's a connection to like Alan Armstrong being in the prison and everything like that. What do you think, Luke?
I have to say I was pretty disappointed. In fact, I was really disappointed. I was a big fan of Jane Tennyson in Prime Suspect. I watched all of them. Unfortunately, I didn't believe that what I was... Unlike Endeavour, which you can't help but compare this to, I just didn't believe her as a young Jane Tennyson stroke Helen Mirren. I didn't buy it.
She said, hasn't she, that she's not doing a Helen Mirren impression. She wants to make the character her own.
The atmosphere and the period was too in your face, and it was all... like Endeavour.
The references. Yeah, because Endeavour
like
is in the
life
background.
On Mars on speed.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, if you're going to do a 1970s crime drama sort of flashback, you're going to draw comparisons to Life on Mars, and Life on Mars was brilliant, and this was anything but. And all the sort of references were really shoehorned in, like have you not heard of Watergate? That's a big thing now.
I know, that's a big
Whiskey
thing.
in the Jar, Thin Lizzy, blah blah blah.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes was like, this is set in the 1970s. This is set in the 1970s.
What you said about Stephanie Martini not being like Helen Mirren, I think she's not like the character because she's quite timid. She's quite well spoken.
It is based on a book that Linda LaPlante wrote, and Linda LaPlante, the creator of the character in the Prime Suspect series, apparently didn't agree with Stephanie getting the lead role and walked away from the project.
Yeah, it's been adapted by a gentleman called Glenn Laker, whose previous credits include Vera and Home Fries.
So the mystery of why I didn't enjoy it is plain for all to see. No, I wasn't going in because you've accused me before, and quite rightly so on a lot of occasions, of going in with certain preconceptions and aspirations and feelings of what it might be like. I was unimpressed. I thought the time period was just too in your face. It's in the background. It's Endeavour. Endeavour tips its hat to the area that it's in.
With Endeavour and with Sean Evans' performance, you get an impression of the character. You know, he's not full Inspector Morse, but you get these sort of, you know, these elements of the character.
But I think as well, from when you compare, you mentioned the Watergate thing, okay? Compare how badly that was done to how well Call the Midwife introduced the Cuban Missile Crisis in their episode this week. It's as if they've said, right, we want to do this show in the 70s. Let's try and make everybody know we're in the 70s, you know, so we'll have a lot of,
But they've got that in the title.
Badly.
It's not called Prime Suspect 1993.
You mentioned Stephanie Martini. I just think all of the acting was atrocious in this.
Yeah,
I mean, what's his name? Sam Reed, who was playing the main sort of officer. He was just bizarre. His accent, I don't know what he was trying to do.
Bland 101.
Bland, yeah. The best performance for me in this was
love. That's how you get better. I mean, how
Jessica Gurning, I thought, was probably the best thing in this. Is the sort of more bubbly female, you know, her mate, the other WPC.
No, it's an opportunity missed, unfortunately. But if you want to find out for yourself, and you may disagree, Prime Suspect 1973, Thursdays at 9 o'clock on ITV. It's the same story for 6 weeks.